Welcome back to Montana This Morning, and ag and weather together. And along with agriculture, a big thing for landowners these days is oil and gas leasing.
You know, absolutely. What's happening in eastern Montana, what they're talking about in central Montana, of course, along the Rocky Mountain front. We have Eric Riley from the Montana Farmers Union with us this morning. And Eric, MFU, since the first of the year, has been hosting some oil and gas leasing workshops around the state. And this morning at 9 a.m. at the depot here in Billings, you're going to have another one. Talk about some of the topics up for discussion.
Well, mainly we're trying to bring information to those producers about what kind of lease to sign, what clauses to have in those leases, water rights, different things you want to make sure you have separate leases for in the leases, and the different clauses that'll help you with your protecting what you have and for your children in the future as well. So.
It's kind of a fine line because you're really, I know a lot of people are anxious to be able to lease their property, but at the same time they really don't know where to draw the line on the legalities on this.
Well, you know, the folks that are coming out and talking to you, they do this for a living, so they're really well versed at what to do, and they're not going to offer you more than they should right away. So it behooves you to take your time, go through the lease. If you see something in there you don't like, strike it out. Talk to a lawyer, talk to your bank, or talk to your neighbors. That's the most important thing, is talk to your neighbors, find out what they've been doing, what their lease is worth, if they're willing to tell you that, you know, and they should talk to you. If you got a landman telling you not to talk to your neighbors, then, you know, maybe you shouldn't go with that person at that time with your lease. And you know, make sure your water rights aren't included in that lease, and check out, make sure that your wind rights aren't included in that lease. That's another thing that they've been included in some of the leases.
Really?
So
Yeah.
you need to check those and make sure, because that's all stuff that you can lease out separately and get, you know, get paid differently on that, because everybody's wind rights and wind volume is a little bit different. And so that's one huge, you know, issue that people don't normally think about, and if you don't get through that complete contract, you won't know.
Now, what has been the feedback so far from attendees at some of your previous workshops? Yesterday you guys were in Glendive.
You know, most people do want to hear more about what we're doing. They want to hear a lot more. They want a sample contract, and what a lot of folks have heard from the landmen is that there's a standardized form, a standard 88 form, and there's no really such thing as a standard 88 form. There is one out there, but it's not standard across the board for anybody. If you want to drop your own form, people want to know different processes. The fracking process, is that going to affect their groundwater? And we have a few different folks talking about that today, so we'll find out just exactly what's going to happen with that fracking process and your groundwater, and how the whole process is and what's involved in those fluids.
Okay, so can we talk about one more time, people, maybe they want the opportunity to get in on this workshop or one of the future ones, how can they do it?
Next workshop, 9 o'clock this morning, come down to the Billings Depot. It's $5 for members, it's $10 for non-members. We're going to do lunch afterwards. We're going to have a producer meeting afterwards and talk about dryland corn and a few different things there. So, and we are doing another one in Plentywood during the Mondack Egg Trade Show, and I think we're going to do it in Glasgow. We haven't got everything nailed down there yet, but we're working on it. So.
All right, well, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Ed, as we look at the weather map, what can we expect?
We got a little something different for almost everybody in the state and through northern Wyoming, and we'll take a look at that coming up in 60 seconds.